Hello guys, this is Chris here. Welcome into my alone zone. This is a disclaimer. The following video will be discussing a topic I perceive to be controversial, but it is a topic that fits mental health conversation. It is a topic that a lot of people touch on but do not want to devote a whole video to. Well, I am, and I feel as though I am the perfect candidate to do so. If you do not want to hear a guy who is severely, extremely depressed, extreme social anxiety, potential agoraphobic tendencies, fear disorders, body dysmorphic disorders, etc., an array of mental health problems. Given my life experience and my current life situation, I feel as though, again, I am the perfect candidate to speak on this topic, and this is what I am going to do. If you have been touched by this, I apologize. I mean to offend no one. And if you don't want to hear someone talk about this, then please do not continue watching this video. The topic today that I'm going to discuss will be suicide. For those of you who want to continue watching, thank you. To hear what I have to say, for anyone who has been affected by this directly, I apologize if I do not mean to offend you. But this is something that I really would like to talk about. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds or so to decide before I continue. Alright, thank you. For those of you who stuck around, I'll touch on first and foremost where I've been. Basically, I just put my life out there on videos, my whole life story and everything. You know, there's good and bad to it. And for me, bringing up these touchy, emotional subjects every couple of days is taxing, and it takes a toll. Bringing up memories that are still very prevalent in my mind, but discussing them at length, again, takes a toll mentally. So I decided, you know what, I've got to do some deep soul searching. So that's what I did. I went into deep isolation. I barely went out the last 2.5, 3 months. And just trying to find out, you know, where my life is headed, where I'm going, you know, trying to contemplate what has got to be done to basically, I exist but to live. I have not lived. I've never lived. I don't know. There's a difference between breathing, being alive, and actually living. And I've never experienced the living part, you know, as far as a consistent day-to-day lifestyle of friendships, close personal bonds, going out, hanging out, going, you know, to play bowling or putt-putt golf or shoot darts or play pool, going to the movie theater, going to the beach, even though I live in a beach town, a beach state. You know, you get where I'm going, you know, just having, you know, the close personal relationships in life. So I've never lived. I am a loner. I am a lifelong loner. It's not because I want to be. It's because that is what has happened to me. Is it destiny? I don't know. Part of me wants to believe in destiny. Part of me believes it's fate. That, you know, before we're born, you know, our story is written and it just plays out in front of our eyes. So, you know, that's where I've been. Now, I will not promise anyone that I will make videos consistently. Can't do that. The reason being, like I said, it's emotional. It's taxing. You know, I discuss things that are really hurtful and hurt. However, I will do my best to make at least one video per week. For those who want to stick around, thank you. For those who don't, thank you for your support. And, you know, it's been a pleasure having you as a follower. I have not a lot of life experience, but when it comes to the bad parts of life, I can talk about that all the time. And I'm older than a lot of other people that make videos like this. I'm much older. Well, not much older, but I am older. 32 years old in June. And Like I said, I've been going through this for 20 years now, and since I realized what depression was, what anxiety was, at 12 years old, the first traumatic experience, the first true emotional experience that hit me, as my body was changing, hormones, all that stuff. I was a pretty smart kid. Um, had things been different, I probably would have turned out a lot better. Because at one time, I enjoyed school, I enjoyed learning, I enjoyed gaining knowledge, but it was thrown away because of the way my brain was wired, not being able to differentiate and throw it away and forget about it and put it to bed. But to people who are wired in a way where they brush it off and they go about and they continue to push forward, are people like that, do they store it inside, and maybe when they lay down at night in bed they think about it and it bothers them, but they don't talk about it? Well, anyways, on to the topic. And the topic today is suicide. Again, it's a very controversial topic, but it's perfect for mental health. And the reason that I want to talk about it is because I just want to go into length. And I'm going to throw hypotheticals. Let's make it clear. I am not currently suicidal. Do I enjoy being alive? No. Could things be better? Hell yeah. Am I the most worst off person in the world? Hell no. But this is pertaining to my life. For anyone who is worse off than me, and are able to push forward and be better, a lot of the times those people don't do it alone. They have support systems. I don't have support systems. I am all alone in this world. I have a grandmother who's in her 80s. She can't do anything for me other than try to tell me good, positive things. But again, there's not much she can do for me. She's done her job with me, and she raised me, and that's all she could have done. And I just wish I could, turn or get better for her. Yes, if I were to hypothetically commit suicide, it would hurt her, but she would understand. She even told me as much. She knows I'm miserable, she knows I'm hurting, and this is why I want to talk about this subject. If you know someone out there that is just absolutely miserable, okay, they just can't stand waking up, getting out of bed, trying to put on a good face, trying to push through life every day. They're hurting mentally and physically. Someone who just cries a lot, or just has a lot of things that just basically, they're, like I said, they're alive but they're not living, and they're tired. They're just tired. They're worn out. They're exhausted. They don't see an end in sight. They've tried their hardest. They've done what they could in their power to the way their body chemistry is set up. And body chemistry has a lot to do with it. Genetics has a lot to do with it. Again, I don't know much about my father's side, but I do know of him. He too suffered from bipolar disorder, depression, and anxiety disorder. He too liked to be, well, actually I said that, he liked to be alone. He didn't want to be bothered. He didn't want people around me. The difference between me and him is I want people, but no one wants to be around me. So, anyways, back to what I was talking about. So, my body chemistry and genetics, and again, on my mother's side, even my grandmother, she had anxiety problems real bad. My mother depressed, schizophrenic. My aunt, had the gamut of mental health disorders. So my body chemistry is such in a way where my mind is just not able to forget about hurtful things. Even the smallest things hurt. Things that, just like a couple months ago when I was in Walmart, I overheard two girls talking, saying, "Boy, that guy sure is ugly." It's just something like that other people could just forget about easily. I still think about daily. It hurts. Something happened to me, the first event that happened to me when I was 12 years old. I can still see it. I can still see the classroom. I can still see her. I can still see vividly in my mind the setting and the hurtful words of her telling me, oh, I asked her, and she wanted to go out with me on a date. It's like, oh no, you're too ugly, you're too fat, I can't be seen with you. Vividly. And every other time something like that happened, vividly. So the point is, I'm 32 years old. My counselor, therapist says, you know what, at this stage of the game, none of the medicines have ever worked for you. It's either clinical trials of new medicines that are up and coming, or electric shock therapy. Because basically at this point it's retraining the brain. Having to forget. Electric shock therapy would help to possibly impact my brain enough to forget, I guess. Basically it's about, at this point for me, erasing the memory. I would do anything, and this is sad to say, to get like permanent amnesia. So I don't know who I am, I don't know my name, I don't know anything. That way I can start over. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have all these memories. I wouldn't know of all these problems. So which brings me to suicide. I will make it clear. If you have been affected by this, someone you know has done this, and that person had friends and had a family or a support system and they still committed suicide, I don't agree with that. If you have people around you, that's foolish. But for a person that has no one, again, my grandmother, but even she said she knows I'm miserable, and I believe she would understand and would probably be relieved if I were to commit suicide. And that's sad to say as well. She doesn't want to see me hurt no more. She doesn't want to see her baby cry. I've cried to her so many times. I'm lost. I'm just so lonely. I have no friends. I hurt. I hurt deeply, My brain is damaged and it's turning into physical. Exhaustion, lack of energy, knees hurt, back hurts, neck hurts. I get chest pains nightly. I'm miserable. I'm so lonesome. I'm tired. I'm worn out. And I'm just at a point where hypothetically I'm just ready to cash out. And that's why I believe that, because see, like I said, basically my brain's gonna have to be retrained. I'm being honest here, I'm being open with you guys, and I'm gonna be real. No one in this world is gonna want to be friends with a guy as bad off as me mentally. I've got so many problems going on. There's so much I have to learn, so much I'm gonna have to do. There's no one out there that would be patient enough to understand. I have said this many times. If I were lucky enough to build a support system, to actually have people who would understand what I've been through, understand why I am the way I am, and be patient enough, not give up on me, support me through it all as I attempt to turn it around. I'm never going to get over the stuff, again, back to body chemistry, genetics. But I can learn how to manage it, and that's the thing, manage. And I firmly believe one of the things that have been missing in my life is a support system. People who will accept me for what I am, regardless of how bad off I am, and be patient enough to stick with me through thick and thin and not give up on me. If I fall back down, stay with me, lift me up. That's what I need. But I'm being real. There's no one out there, no one. In my dream of finding a woman, having a family, please, there's no woman out there that would even be remotely interested in a guy with as many, issues as I have, and and challenges I have to face. And I admit that I cannot do it on my own. So therefore, given the fact that, yes, again, I know there are people worse off than me, but this pertains to my life. So, given all that, knowing that I'm miserable and I'm hurting. Would anyone blame me for committing suicide? And again, if I did, nobody knows me. I have no friends. No one's gonna miss me. And you people who watch my videos and chat with me on Facebook can say I will. Maybe. I don't believe that though. Because you don't know me. You're not my friends in real life. You don't have a close personal bond with me. You wouldn't miss me. You're gonna say in the comments, "Oh, I would please. Yeah, I miss you." To be honest with you, only a handful of people even commented and said anything while I took a 2.5-month hiatus. And for those, I thank. But the majority of people, didn't care. And that hurts a little bit, but, again, these are online people. You guys, you're real. But again, we're not close. We don't have that close personal bond. So, it's different. And that's why I'm a big proponent for assisted suicide. There was a guy named Dr. Jack Kevorkian who took people who were miserable. And there's a little debate whether or not what he was doing was causing them pain. But I think the amount of pain they were going through in life to the point where they just no longer wanted to even try because they just were miserable. They felt like there was just no point in it. So, and again, he would administer a lethal dose of drugs. And to me, I believe they went peacefully. So, anyways, I believe that is outlawed. He went to prison. I believe he has since passed on. They found that it was against the law. But in my opinion, I believe as though if someone who is in that position, who can't do it themselves, if there's someone out there who would do it for them, I don't see why it's a problem. It's your life. It's your body. You can do what you want with it, right? So if you no longer want to exist, because all basically I'm doing is existing, I'm not living. If I wanted to go to someone who would assist me, then I believe that should be allowed, and unfortunately it's not. And I do not want to hurt anyone with what I'm saying. I don't want to sound, you probably think I'm stupid for saying all this, but the truth of the matter is, when you have no one and you feel hopeless and you've been going through it for as long as I have, I believe that the answer for me is, the end. And again, I'm not suicidal, but there's a difference between wanting to die and being suicidal. I don't think I could ever do it. So that's why, if there was help out there, I would be the first to jump on board. I would sign up for it in a heartbeat. And can you blame me? Can anyone out there blame me? Okay, so this begs me to your loved ones. When something tragic happens and they're on life support, the question is, do you pull the plug or not? And there's been debate about that. Those people are suffering. They're miserable. Why continue to keep them alive? But family members, they want to hold on. And that's understandable. But again, that person is miserable. A machine is keeping them alive. So, for me, I'm miserable. And the only thing keeping me alive is, I don't know what. But it's like I'm on life support right now. Okay? And, I believe that the plug should be pulled. And I see no end to this insight. And this is why I'm talking about this. I did the soul searching. I see no end to this insight. I've been dealing with this for 20 years. The medications have not worked. The therapy, yes, it's someone to talk to every month, but that does not work. There is so much that's going to have to be done. And the fact of the matter is that no one is going to be patient enough. If no one has come along in my life, in my real life, that wanted to be my friend, that wanted to accept me for what I am, up until this point, it's not going to happen. There is no one out there that is patient enough to understand how bad off I am. And no, it could take years for me to get to a place where I can manage it. There's no one out there. I've not come across them all these years. So what leads me to believe that there is someone out there? I need a support system. But the way of the world is, no one wants to hang out with a guy with severe mental illness, with a guy with a lot of emotional baggage and a lot of emotional problems. All he wants in life is love. All he wants in life is acceptance. All he wants is to be a part of society and have a quote-unquote normal lifestyle. But no one's ever given him that chance. And sure, internet friends, those are great. But I need a close personal bond. I need something in real life. And there's no one, to my knowledge, and what I believe, that'd be willing to wait the length of time and not give up on me and be my friend and be there for me regardless of how bad off I am. That's why I feel as though suicide would be the best answer for me. And it's not cowardly to me. Who wants to be miserable every day? It would be cowardly if I had friendships and family and a support system. That's cowardly. But when you're all alone in the world and no one is going to miss you, you don't mean anything to anybody. And the one person that you might mean something to would be okay with it because they know you're miserable and you're hurting. Then could you blame me? Could you blame anyone else that's in this situation? And I highly doubt there's anyone in my situation that has been going through what I'm going through as long as I have, that has zero real life friends, that doesn't have any prospects, that is severely, extremely damaged up here. And the majority of his damage is because people did not give him a chance, would not accept him when that's all he wanted. But again, his chemistry and his genetics are wired in such that he cannot, that little things bother him. Okay, things that people could just brush off bother him. That he keeps memories. That he's a very emotional person. You know, that he just wants acceptance. Sure, they say, well, don't worry about what other people think. Worry about yourself. Well, some people aren't wired to that. Some people can't help but worry about what others think because that's just the way they are. And they don't know how to change that. And that's about retraining your brain, rewiring your brain. You know? But, you know, some people just don't care what other people think. Great for you. I'm glad your genetics and your wiring was given to you in such a way that you know, great, good for you. And for those people with strong willpower who are worse off than me, that can push forward, I applaud you. Great. But you gotta understand, not everyone is like that. And so again, I was not wanted when I was born. My mother and father didn't want me. They had me, threw me away, pushed me to the side, but it wasn't for my grandmother. And sometimes I ask her, why didn't she just let me, you know, why did she take me in? You know, why? I wish I would have never been, I wasn't meant to be born. Two young people who thought they loved each other, got together, had sex. I was the end result. And when I was born, they threw me away. And my grandmother did step up. But see, like I said, I was unwanted by my mother and father. And yes, okay, my grandmother wanted me. But you gotta understand, it's different. It's different. No one else in life has ever wanted me. I'm a human being too. Just because I don't look as good as others, just because I don't dress as good, or just because I have different tendencies, and just because I live a different lifestyle, and just because you know, I'm quote unquote abnormal. You know, I'm to the beat of another drum. I'm a very simplistic person, and even if I had a support system, I've never been outgoing. I've never been like one of those types of people. I'm a homebody, and that's what I like to do. Now every now and then I guess it would be good to go out, and especially for me, I've never, you know, had that, so it would be amazing to enjoy that at first. But again, you know, I've never really experienced that kind of lifestyle, but for now it's lended to me being a homebody and the lifestyle that I live. And I do believe that even if I had a support system, I would still, you know, enjoy just a night at home, cooking a dinner, watching a movie, maybe, you know, playing some board games. You know, some people call that boring, you know, I call that cool, I call that fun. But in this day and age, you know, it's all about going out and partying and being in the largest crowds and in the largest groups, and that's why I'm different, you know. Again, that's another difference. There's so many differences that I have, you know, as opposed to what's normal. I don't have the six-pack abs and the muscles, and I don't have the fast money and the fancy cars and the clothes. And again, no one up until this point has ever given me a true shake in life, in my real life situation. I've been brushed off. I've been told I was ugly. I've been told I'm a loser. I've been told I'm nothing. You know, women have not wanted me, when that's the only damn thing I've wanted since I was 12 years old, was to fall in love and have a family and spend the rest of my life with that woman, because I still believe in true love, even if true love doesn't exist. Well, it does exist. And the couples that get together in their teens and stay together 40, 50, 60, 70 years. That's true love, and that's something I always wanted. But again, like I said, I'm so bad off, I really seriously doubt that there's anyone that's going to be patient enough to accept it and deal with it and want to truly be with me through it all as I achieve. So that's why I come to you today with a controversial topic, saying that, hey, if you knew somebody was miserable and truly hurting, and they'll be better off dead, could you really blame them? Is it really so wrong for someone to commit suicide, given the situation that I presented to you? So you tell me what you want. You know, I'm going to get a lot of hate, more than likely. I'm going to get a lot of negative comments, but that's what I know. When you have a topic like this, that's what happens. So at the end of the day, everything I presented to you, every situation I posed to you, knowing the circumstances, knowing that it's just a struggle just to get up every day, miserable, just exhausted and done, could you really blame someone for wanting to end it all? And unfortunately, there is no assisted suicide anymore, so I don't have that route. But I'm telling you, if that route was open, if that was legal, I'd be on board. Simply because at this point, at this juncture, after my soul searching, the conclusion I came to is that is the best option for me. Whether or not it's the right option, whether or not it's the popular choice, at the end of the day, ending it is the best option for me. And say what you want to me, and hate on me for this, but I'm just presenting to you my life, my story, and what I'm going through. A 12-year-old boy crafted a dream. He just wanted to be accepted by people. He just wanted friends. He just wanted to meet a girl. He believed in love so strongly. He just wanted to fall in love and have a family, and spend his life walking hand in hand with that woman, waking up with her just every day, telling her how much he loves her, doing everything in his power to make her happy, understanding that there are times when there will be arguments, when there will be fights, but you love someone enough, you give, you take, you compromise, you work it out, you do everything in your power to fix it, because you love that person that much. You love them when they're at their best. You love them when they're at their worst. You love her when she's got makeup on. You love her when she doesn't. You love her when she's nice and dressed up. You love her when she's wearing her raggedy old night clothes. You love her. You give her whatever you can. You spend your life giving her your all, and having a family, and living that dream. As a 12-year-old boy, that's a dream that I came up with. And to this day, it's still my dream. But at the point in everything I've been through, it is a dream that is never going to come true. And that is another conclusion I've came to. So again, I've come to my wit's end. And for me, I feel like the best option would be to just say goodbye. But again, there is a difference between wanting to die and actually doing it. Will I do it? No. I won't. But it's the thing that I feel is the right for me. So I guess I'll continue to be miserable, continue to, you know, craft up some fake hope that maybe there's some people out there that will absolutely understand why I am the way I am, given the stories that I've told, and be willing to come into my life and accept me and be there for me and form a close personal bond and not give up on me easily. So that's it. That's all. For those who watched, thank you. For those who no longer want to, watch my videos because of this controversial topic, I understand, this is not for everyone. And for those who want to stick around, I'll be back in a couple of days with another video, and it's not going to be as dark and dramatic. I'm gonna just, just present to you, things that pertain to mental health, and every now and then I'm gonna throw in a topic about something I'm interested in. So that's it, and that's all. Until next time, this is Chris. You've been in the Alone Zone, and I'm out. Peace.